I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, June the 11th, where $115 was paid in the Southern Plains for fat cattle last week, which was fully $5 higher, right in the face of this big wall of cattle. And if you'd have told us that a couple of months ago, we would never have believed it, but we just couldn't believe how good this demand was going to be, both domestically and for export, and how much these packers were going to crank up the harvest on these cattle. We've seen the biggest kills we've seen in 7 years, and it's really helping take care of these cattle. And another thing that's really helped is your sellers have backed off of selling those cattle for that 2 to 4 week delivery, giving those packers all the leverage. And since we got into the late part of last week, they were really needing cattle to keep those kills where they wanted to. Supposedly these packers are making around $300 a head, and they just want to keep their foot on the gas. And as we move into this week, they need to buy cattle for immediate delivery, negotiated, to keep things going as fast as they'd like them. And we're really looking at a good market, as bad as we thought it could get, and it doesn't look like we're going to be dipping into the double digits at all. But look at the board for last week. Your August live cattle ended up at 105.77. That was up $2.15 for the week. Your June spot performed much better than your out fronts all week long last week and ended up at 110.05, up $5.15 for the week, and caught the previous week's negotiated trade, but still looking at a $5 basis compared to the higher market we had late last week. August feeder cattle ended up at 147.27, up 95 cents for the week. And your October, which had grown to a bigger advantage but back down a little bit late, ended at 148.35, up 192 for the week. Like I said, your fat cattle trade, Texas and Kansas sold late Friday afternoon at 115, which was $4 to mostly $5 higher than the previous week. Nebraska and Iowa sales from 182 to mostly 183 late on Friday. That was fully $5 higher, and also seen some regional trade on negotiated grid for choice at 185. Box beef cutout values, your average trade for last week, your choice cuts 226.95, which was down $1.04, but select was up 14 cents at 204.47 for the average trade of last week. After a big month of May that saw your average choice cuts, the average trade for the month was 229.70, which was very impressive. Slaughter for last week, 658,000. That's 22,000 more than the previous week, with help from a big Saturday of 61,000 head. Look at your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on Cattle Market Central based on the 800-pound steer. Ended the week at 139.55, which was $2.50 higher than it ended the previous week. Cash feeders in your auctions, $2 to $6 higher by the end of the week. Southeastern calves were kind of unevenly higher, but some of your states in the Southeast ended up only steady to $1 or $2 higher, but some of them as much as $8 higher. But not a lot of stocker calves available in the plains and the Midwest, as most of those cattle are turned out. Just not a lot of cattle moving out there close to your major grazing areas. But look at your quotes late in the week last week. Shasta Livestock Auction Yard in Cottonwood, California had a big special on Friday. 124 head of steers weighed 675, bring 155.5. And Bluegrass Stockyards, Richmond, Kentucky, 128 head of steers weighed 772 at 144.25. That's your feeder flash for Monday.